Now, we know the attention's on the head coach, Trav. Tension, which I've been banging the drum for. I know you have too.
Yeah, you're damn right.
But here's my thing. Anytime you're looking for a head coach, I always go, but who is your general manager?
Yes, you do.
And Robert Kraft raised some eyebrows when asked about Eliot Wolf and his standing with the franchise, because Alonzo Highsmith, who's an executive in the personnel department, and Eliot Wolf, who's their executive vice president of the personnel department, will be in the interviews and conducting interviews, helping them with the process for a head coach. But here's Robert Kraft on where he sees Eliot Wolf in the whole ecosystem of the Patriots and football.
No, we are looking for people working together, and they will be staying on.
We're looking for people that will be working together. He will be staying on. Now,
Simple.
Trav.
Simple.
I want to say this quick. If people are going Mike Vrabel, and he's not going to want to work with Eliot Wolf. Mike Vrabel in an athletic feature where they interviewed him at like a dive bar in Nashville, which I think is fantastic.
So Vrabel.
What he wants is clear and open communication with ownership.
Yeah.
You'll get that with the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
Collaboration with ownership and the general manager. You'll get that.
Check.
Good quarterback. Definitely a check.
Check.
Now, there is that alarm, and I know a lot of people's alarms went off in their heads. What? You're going to do what? Here's my thing, Trav. This is what I'm thinking in this. You can't just go out and burn down the personnel department. Now, I did, and I have been saying, and I still stand by it, I need more than a new head coach. I need full-on investment in a new coaching staff or what that new head coach wants. And I need full-on investment in the leadership of football operations. Personnel, football ops, culture, everything, football decisions. I don't think Eliot Wolf's necessarily going to go anywhere. The scouts won't go anywhere. Because you can't just burn all your filing cabinets. You can't just burn down the building with all the information you need. Because the second the draft ends, preparation for the following draft begins. And all season long, Eliot Wolf and his staff know what this Patriots team needs the most. And it takes a while to move away from the old ways, the old guard of the Bill Belichick way, into the new way. If you fire everyone, if you clear them out, it's going to take a while to get a new front office up to speed. With him saying that, he wants everyone to work together. He didn't say, I want them to work for Eliot Wolf. I think a new general manager comes in, and Eliot Wolf is told, hey, this is your new boss, and he's given the option. Hey, title change, new leadership, you can stay, Elliot, or you can go. And that's how it's going to go. Because if a Ben Johnson is serious, he has a GM in mind. If a Mike Vrabel is serious,
too.
he has a G. Exactly.
Yeah.
They have a GM in mind.
Yes.
You cannot force partnerships in a front office. The reason Mike Vrabel got fired from the Titans is because he was butting heads with Rand Carthen. Rand Carthen just got fired.
Gone.
Bad ownership.
Yep. And they kept the coach.
You can't do
So
the
that tells you
and
everything.
they kept Callahan. You can't do the BS of arranged marriages, man.
Yeah.
What the beauty of a good and fruitful relationship in life is there's a natural cohesion
Yes.
and like-minded thinking. And
Yeah.
in a way, you're each other's better halves. Where I come up short, they come up big. That's what you need with the GM and head coach. You cannot force it. And again, Robert Kraft is serious. He knows where he's messed up. If a Vrabel or a Ben Johnson comes in, they will listen to them.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, kinda. The only thing I disagree with a bit is that you said you can't burn down an entire personnel department. Okay, true, but you can damn sure set ablaze to the leader of it. So my thing is, why even demote? Because that's what you're talking about. Let's call it what it is. Why even demote Eliot Wolf? Like, just get him out of here then. Get him out of here with Mayo. You should have already did that.
He knows where everything is. Like literally, like the information, what this team needs.
But if
like,
you're bringing in a GM, which it sounds like what you're suggesting.
Yeah.
Either one of these coaches.
It's a lot of information, man.
Either,
it's not simple.
But I'm saying either one of these coaches we're talking about is going to want their guy.
Yeah.
We agree on this.
Yeah.
Hey, man, they know where stuff is too. It might be on a different team, and they got to learn. But that's why you don't burn down the personnel department. There are people there that can help them get acclimated, and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
All these guys who Vrabel would want, who Ben Johnson would want, even though Ben Johnson's a rookie head coach, whoever he wants as a GM is going to have experience. So you got to move. I'm not with the demotion stuff. Now, we'll see if Eliot Wolf is, because if you're right – and he kind of acquiesces, and he's like, yeah, I'm good. I just want to be here. And then some new, hotshot comes in and is the GM. Okay. All right. Well, then maybe you're right, George. And that tells me more about Eliot Wolf than it does anyone else. But my thing is, if I'm the Crafts, he would already been gone, bro. I'm sorry. Him and Mayo and the staff are gone. The personnel department, okay, fine, but we're going to have a new leader.
Yeah.
And they're going to come in and they're going to give you the vision and you're going to help them get acclimated. Everything that concerns you, George, where is everything, all the information, help the new guy with that, okay?
Yeah.
And then when we get to the draft, do better than the last guy because I can't give you Drake May. That was Avi.
Yeah.
The rest of your draft was ass.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just like, why run that back? How do you look at that draft that you just had and the season that you just had where these picks needed to be contributors and you got a nothing burger outside of the obvious choice that any of us would have made? And then decide to run that back? Hell to the no. I think Eliot Wolf already should have been gone.
Look, if they bring in a new head coach, they bring in a new GM, it's simple. Elliot, we're going to do it my way, or you can leave. That's it.
Well,
and that's what it's going to be.
We'll find out.
It's very different. The timeline of coaches is once the season ends, it's contracts.
Yeah.
Timeline of general managers runs through the draft.
Sure.
That's why it was even unique with, you go back last offseason, remember Robert Kraft's like, I haven't decided anything with personnel. I'm going to decide after the draft. Contract is up with Eliot Wolf. Maybe Robert Kraft being a businessman. He goes, I'm not going to give out titles.
Right.
I'm not going to give you leverage.
Maybe.
I'm going to pay you what I'm going to pay you. The interesting thing in all this, like Ben Johnson interviewing with the Patriots, Albert Breer reported that is tied to the respect Eliot Wolf garners around the league.
Of course.
Take that for what it is.
That last
Take it
name.
for what it is. Ron Wolf's son, the Packers way, and all that. It's right there when Albert Breer said he doesn't think Ben Johnson would take an interview there if it was a sham search. Vrabel's a favorite, but post-Belichick, they set it up so Eliot Wolf and the head coach would both report to ownership. I'd expect it to stay that way. And then he did add, this shows the amount of respect Eliot Wolf gets around the league.
Yeah. I mean, that last name carries weight, obviously. He has the experience, obviously. And look, you and I are talking like the draft because we're draft nerds and all that. But you got to spend this money too, don't you? I mean, dude. So it's one thing. Your draft was not great, but then like
you didn't spend it well.
You have money. You had money last offseason and you couldn't land. They went. My issue at last offseason, and it's easy to say this now.
Yeah.
Hindsight being what it is, right? My issue was they went big game hunting, which you are supposed to do. But the great GMs in this league, and George, you know this more than anyone. I call you GM George. Like, you love this stuff. The great GMs, and you talk about this with the draft a lot. Of course, you need to hit on your first round and your second round. But drafts are won late. It's the same with free agency. Yes, we won Calvin Ridley last offseason. That's big game hunting. But what are you doing on day 2 and 3 and more of free agency? That's where you fill out the roster. All I saw was a bunch of re-signing of young players, your core guys. Okay. You didn't want to pay Judon, which was weird to me. You didn't want to. I think you got to move on, brother. And I know you're going to talk about spending, but that's part of this too, George. It's not just a draft. What can you do for me with free agency? How do you have all this money and you can't get anything done? I don't want to run that back.
I got 2 names for you. Ray Agnew, Mike Borgonzi.
Fine. Check.
Ray Agnew, assistant general manager of the Lions. Been in that role since 2021.
Yeah.
You talk about hitting late in the draft. Aleem McNeil, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Come on.
I'm going beyond the first rounders because the Penei Sewells, the Aiden Hutchinsons, he's been around when they drafted. Those are the obvious choices.
But those were obvious.
The Kirby Josephs, the Sam Laportas, Brian Branch, Jack Campbell. Ooh. Jack Campbell and Brian Branch were both they were looked at as reaches, as was Jahmyr Gibbs in that draft.
That's right.
But they were like, well, we don't know the position, off-ball linebacker.
Yeah.
Brian Branch, is he a corner? Is he a safety?
Yeah.
They've been some of the best at their position.
Even Gibbs was a first-round running back. You never do that. He's a stud.
But the way they built the offensive line.
Yes.
Then we talk about the free agency. This year alone, signed DJ Reader, helped out that defense. They're injured now. Signed Kevin Zeitler because they lost Jonah Jackson, correcting mistakes. Retained Graham Glasnow. That's big. Like the extensions they give out.
Yep.
2023, they signed David Montgomery. 2021, Alex Anzalone came in on a 1-year deal. He signed another 1-year deal, then a 3-year deal. That is what Ray Agnew has put together for this Lions team. Mike Borgonzi, been with the Chiefs since 2009, rose through the ranks with the Brett Veach. And he's been a scout, football ops, director of pro scouting, director of player personnel, now assistant GM. And same thing, think about the way that they've drafted. The Creed Humphreys, the Trey Smiths, starting offensive linemen for them who are exceptional, that were late round picks. The Leo Chenals, Isaiah Pacheco, a 7th rounder out of Rutgers. Chamari Connor, one of the better secondary players outside of Trent McDuffie for this defense, which is championship caliber level.
Yep.
He does all that. Look at the free agency again. Mike Dano with an extension.
Yep.
He re-signed the defensive line pretty much. Figured out how to pay Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, Travis Kelce. Figured out how to keep them all together. Goes out and gets Hollywood Brown. Yes, he was injured. His 2 games, averaging over 10 yards a catch. 2.68 yards per route run. That is efficient. That is explosive. That is important to an offense. Went out, signed Drew Tranquill, and that led to an extension. And these are extensions that are hitting. These aren't the extensions that don't work out like we've seen in New England. And here's a big thing. Mike Borgonzi did an interview with Phil Perry back in 2023, asked about the Patriots because, Trav, I ignored all this. Mike Borgonzi is from Everett. He's from Massachusetts. His wife is from North Reading.
Local.
He's in his 50s. He was asked about a Patriots job. Last offseason, Mike Borgonzi said, that's a dream job. You get to go in there and kind of shape your own vision and what you want the organization to look like. That's a dream job for a personnel guy. His dad was a season ticket holder with the Patriots for 20 years. This is a guy that's ready to lead his own front office.
Yes.
I'm surprised he hasn't been poached from the Chiefs yet. But a job like this with a franchise quarterback with the cap space, you know, and he says it right there, the dream job. I get to shape it. I get to bring the Patriots back to championship caliber levels. If a Mike Borgonzi or Ray Agnew are interested in your job and you're Robert Kraft and a Mike Vrabel or Ben Johnson sign off on that, you do it without thinking twice.
I agree. And by the way, just to kind of bring it back full circle here, to your point, if Eliot Wolf doesn't sort of want to, pun intended here, play ball with that, okay, then get to stepping. Because I love every single scenario you just laid out with either guy. I'm fine with it. But one thing I think you and I agree with is, you know, either one of these coaches is going to want their guy. So I just don't understand how Eliot Wolf's going to fit into this, which is why I would have given all these coaches and Eliot Wolf their walking papers along with Gerard Mayo. I just don't know how you're going to make it all work. It seems like Robert Kraft, he's so hurt from the Gerard Mayo. Oh, my friend. Oh, I'm so like, bro, like get your feelings out of here. This you're a businessman. You got a football. There are empty seats in your building, brother.
Yeah.
You gotta get these guys out of here. There's no feelings in this stuff. It ain't personal. It's just business.
And this is Eliot Wolf, to your point. Just look at his free agency leading the front office. Chukwueze Okorafor, career right tackle in the NFL, went AWOL. Antonio Gibson, good, wasn't used too much, but when used was all right.
He was all right.
Jacoby Brissett lost his job. Sione Takitaki, never healthy. Jalen Reagor, cut by the team. Austin Hooper, good signing. Nick Leverett, cut. KJ Osborne, cut.
Right.
Jalen Hawkins, okay.
Awful.
The extensions, Kyle Duggar, Hunter Henry, Mike Onwenu, Anthony Jennings, solid extensions, but you need more when it comes to the spending. And Robert Kraft said, we'll spend. He said, over 3 years, I expected to level out. No, you got to be 100% serious if you're Robert Kraft.